Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Rainbow Hills Country Club, this is the opening round of the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. That's right, it is back to the majors on the KLPGA Tour. One of the marquee events of the year, an annual tradition that is always at the top of mind for these athletes. 1.2 billion one up for grabs in the purse, with an astounding 300 million won set aside for the champion. No Seung-Hee won it last year, and she won it last year convincingly, shooting 13 under through 4 holes with nearly robotic consecutive rounds, 68, 68, 68, into 71 to beat Kim Soo-ji by 4 strokes. As we pick up today on this Thursday afternoon, it is a sunny day here in Umsong-gun, up in the Cheonggyeongbuk-do region, or in about the central geography of this beautiful nation. And everyone is in and around that midway mark, at least those of the feature groups, where there are some absolute stars playing together today. EA1, of course, is one of those aforementioned stars. This is a group with No Seung-Hee, last year's champ, and Pang Shin-sil, all playing this par 4, 397-meter hole. Front-located pin this opening round. And look, this is a tough major. Most majors are tough, but in particular, Rainbow Hills is going to take no prisoners, and the 132-player field is going to have to earn it. Pang Shin-sil is +2 after 8. Her approach was a little bit short, but that will work out okay. Bouncing through the rough, rolling through the fringe, and coming back to basically stop directly beside it. She will be putting for a birdie. We'll return to the feature group when they reach the green. In the meantime, check in on Yoo Hyun-jo, who is at 2 under 10. This is the par 3. She's playing a 9-iron. 13 yards off the front, 6 yards, pardon me, meters. A little bit of a different green scorecard this week. 13 meters off the front, 6 from the left side, and it's well attacked. Amy Jung in the second to last group, which means her back 9 gets underway. She was playing with Peng Min-ji and Hong Ji-won in group 41. And Bak Ji-young. So the last player used a 9. I would imagine if it's any wedge, it's a pitching wedge and not much more. She went right on the attack, coming respectively close to an ace, certainly well within birdie range. Oh Soo-min at +4, her second shot on the par 5 here, and towards the cart path. There's 85 left. Another front left located pin this afternoon. That will be more than serviceable. And No Seung-Hee, she just misses the sand. She is caught in the rough. Can you get up and down for a par? Called this win the first in her career. The crowning achievement. Peng Min-ji was gushing about how much she absolutely adores this course and the challenges it poses. Won't count as driving regulation, but she avoids the rough. Okay, elephant in the room. We're seeing a lot of pluses. +2, +1, +2. Mentioned it's tough. At the moment, we only have 29 players under par. +2. I mean, way too early to start talking about the cut, but we always keep in mind around that top 60 mark. That's what +2 is. T57, as you see beside Pengxin Shil's score. It was back-to-back bogeys, all pars otherwise, as she's out with a 38. And Hong Jung-min on the approach at 10. Lands about 2 meters off. Closest to the pin thus far. Back to 11, Yu Hyun Jo. She is at 2 under, 3 under. Would be inside the top 5. And there she goes. 4th birdie. Very impressively, just the 1 bogey that was at the 2nd. She is quickly up to a tie for 4th position. EA1, yes, this is a tricky putt. Yes, it will break right to left, but at least it's predictable. Downhill, though, which makes it extremely challenging. Just a bit too much speed. Dungen also at 2 under after 9, 74 meters as she prepares her 3rd. Nice and easy wedge. About the same distance as Hong Jung-min. Those are 2 good ups. Swinging to save her part, should be a little left to right. Good speed, good line. Officially under par at the halfway point, a 35 on the way out. Park Ji-young, a little more than a tap in. Brilliant tee shot to set up what is her first birdie of the round. She goes to +1. .249 to go with this 2nd shot. We know Amy Jung can rip it. Down just about to the very tip, the end of the fairway. She doubled the 5th, birdied the 7th, and bogeyed the 2nd. That's the tail of the tape thus far. Soo-min not quite able to get it there. We have 11 amateurs in the field, of course, with this being the Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. The national team is well represented. In the early goings, it's Park So-jin, who is the low amateur at 2 under. 235 for Peng Min-ji with the woods. Easy as you like. At least that's how she makes it look. Hong Jung-min starts to move offline. It's a 54-hole facility. We play the south and east courses in that order. Robert Trent Jr. designed facility. Suni didn't look thrilled after the tee shot, and that's why. She's very close to the bunker. Peng Jill also having some difficulties with the driver. Towards the beach. Leaves EA1. And how about this? All three off the fairway, and it was almost as though there was a magnet in that bunker. Looking for a much better performance this week. It was the opening round that really put her on the back foot a year ago, shooting a 77. She was able to make the cut after shooting 69 the next day, but ultimately she and Pak Yang, Hong Jung-min all in that 44th to 50th position. Lee Dong-eun finished tied for 32nd. She shot an 80 here on Sunday last year. Started the round in the top 10, but the Sunday scaries, I suppose. Kim Ji-hyun 2+2 with a nice birdie. Jung will fancy this lie, 71 meters. Again, we're looking front left. Well, that's the reward you get for two great shots to start the par 5, especially when you're a power hitter, but she shows there's some finesse in her game as well. Jung-min starting the 11th. Follows the curving fringe. Ends up in the rough, however. Bar's been set high for Pang Min-ji. Nice and smooth up and down. She'll take that. That even par score means she's trailing the leader by 5. And that log jam at 29th. We have 14 players at the score. 28 at 1 under or better from 132.
야, 저 언덕 전으로 가자.
Take a flashback to the 10th hole in 2021. Lee Jung-min goes down the cart path, and you're thinking, uh-oh. And you would be right to think that, because there it goes, and oh. Stuck on the grate.
그렇게 뒤에 피있잖아. 세 번 더 볼까? 보이는 카트도로까지는 괜찮은 거거든. 10번 그저 뒤로까지는 안 넘어가니까.
Still 246 for A1. Our priority getting back into the fairway, but I suppose that's why we show you a flashback. Off the cart path and into some serious trouble. Rather be on the left side than the right side, I suppose, with the mountainside cliff. But I'm not envious of whoever is going to start the search for that golf ball. Functioning Shield. She's on the fairway side of the cart path, but not in the fairway. Making this look the most orthodox, and that's a good thing. No Sungi, not that she had the craziest front nine, but calm is good in this sport. Certainly she's not going to need to find her hiking boots anytime soon. Nice punt for Peng Min-ji. It's a great birdie. Min gets it nice and close. Amy Jung gets one closer. It's her second birdie since the 7th hole as she nears in on the even par score. Otherwise, she will have lots to like about it, but narrowly off. She's gonna run up to within a meter or so. Great touch around the green. Just hang on. Fine line, but an even more fine putt. It's a good one for Duggan.
믿습니다. 감사합니다.
We knew it's a par. Well, she has understandably abandoned all hope of being able to play that shot. So she's trying to make sure her angle is right. How did it go in? So that she can drop it properly, take the penalty, and get back on with the round. While we wait for her to sort her situation, let's go to 11, Pungmin G. She wasn't sure if she was going to like it or not. It's not one for the career highlight reel, but not too wrong with it either.
오, 나이스.
It's a little bit on the deeper side of the spectrum, but birdieable for sure. And for the approach, wanting right left, and Pungmin Shield goes to the center of the green. Again, Joe can move within one. She still has a lot of golf to play today. Three-footer makes it 3 pars in a row. This is very much on. All right, so drop's been made. Everything done precisely to avoid making a tough situation worse. Still in the rough, still needs to get uphill. Has gone for the iron. This is shot number 4 after the penalty. 132. She doesn't really have much other choice than to try and go for it, but she catches the branches on her backswing, skips it like a stone on the pond, and ends up just to the right of the fairway.
카톡에 들어가면 되는
Not just move, we expect this putt to dance a bit at 11. Pungmin G for a birdie.
아,
Just fades off the line.
나이스 파!
In the distinguished history of this competition, we have not seen many repeat winners. Pungmin G would like to add her second, and she might be a dark horse. It's still a bit bizarre to consider her a dark horse. We know how good she is when the pressure is the highest. She's been in a pretty good run of form the last few weeks. Of course, there's always the pressure on the defending champion. They want the same memories, new memories, that same feeling by Sunday. Incredibly difficult thing to do, as No Seung-yi will learn. Next on 11 is Imi Jung for even, needs to move right. She'll have to settle for the par. Ye won a very consequential shot, of course. This is for the par right here. 68 meters. We know how good she is with her wedges. And that's, well, bordering on disaster. Ball will be buried. Will be a chip for bogey, but double seems very, very likely as this becomes increasingly difficult with every passing stroke. Well, as mentioned, Lee Daeyeon is our leader. Also, as mentioned, Yoo Hyun-jo now just one back, sharing second with Ko Chi-yu and So Ji-eun. That is your top three from 132. You'd offer anyone a 2-under, they take it with both hands. Chae-Eun also with 4 holes to play within 3. We'll be curious to see how she rounds in to the clubhouse. This is the opening round of the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Great to be back playing for a major. All right, right back to work, EA1. As expected, after short approach into the rough, gets up but doesn't get down, so that will be the putt for double bogey. Elsewhere across the back nine, a very, very deep approach. Young man that goes all the way towards the back of this very skinny, narrow green. Bung-Chin Shil has been waiting patiently. This is her putt for a birdie. No minor accomplishment, though. It needs a big swing. She gives it one. Starting to come over as well. Interesting layout, this back nine. Of course, we start with the long hole here, 495 meters. It's actually the shortest of all the par 5s, and it's downhill into the par 3 11th, of which we've seen quite a bit of in the past 15 to 20 minutes. And then we start a run of 5 par 4s in a row. Hong Jung-min with just a little bump and run, letting gravity lend her a hand. That's a very, very good display of her short game touch. And No Seung-hee has her birdie to 2 under. Very calm winds. He rides it up and drops it in about 2 yards past the start of the fringe, and Park Ji-young will be putting for a birdie. EA1 confirms that double. One-upping Park Ji-young ever so slightly. That snuck in a centimeter or 2 closer. Here at 12, a swooping putt. A lot of right to left break. Strong effort. Min-ji with a strong swing to start the 12th. Safely into the fairway. Jung-min, really good run. Had that early mistake on the second, put it behind her, and has accumulated 3 birdies ever since. Jung looks on unsure. Not entirely positive just how wide that start to the fairway is. If I was a betting man, I would say She's likely in the second cut. Flashback to 11. In 2022, this par 3. More than just a hole-in-one, it's a slam dunk for ENG. 7 under, nice and early. I hardly believe it. I remember this actually. Crazy to jog the memory just like that. She took quite the divot on the edge of the green, or edge of the hole, pardon me. Borderline unstoppable that year. And no Seung-Yi. She is on. Widest part of the green towards the back. Shields next to begin. Just beyond pin height with a well-struck start to number 11.
중계방 그렇죠. 앞에 좀만 들어가 주세요.
She can't afford to dwell. It's an 8-iron for EA1. Starting the bounce back. It's much more like it for her. Great iron player. Jo is unflappable at the moment. She moves into a share of the lead at 5 under. Floated up over the water. Really good spot. Kim Soo-ji, she knows what it takes. To win a major, certainly she knows how to get into those featured groups and make some noise. She'll have a little bit of redemption on her mind this year. Park Ji-young has her second in a 3-hole window and goes to even. And No Seung-Yi, good speed. Her miss is slightly to the inside. That was to move into the under par scores, but she'll have to be okay with even for at least one more. PA1 first to putt at 11. She knew what the break was going to do. Par will feel a whole lot better than a double bogey. Understatement of the day. Amy Jung, the winner in 2022. She won the tournament with a 19 under. I'd like to see even, maybe 2 under by day's end.
좋아.
It was a bit of a flashback to 2022, wasn't it? Peng Xinjiu with a birdie. Number 1 today, something to build on in this back 9. Kim Soo-ji on the final hole of the round. Just about got to 2 under. She'll have to settle for a 71. Quick realignment. Quick glance at that scorecard. Her birdies came early. They came often. 3 in a row with a couple of late bogeys on each the front and back. 74 meters of 58-degree wedge down the hill. Peng Min-ji with a little side spin. So that's what will be left for the birds. Meandering path down from the teeing ground. Very clever, this 12th hole. How brave do you want to be? Over the windy river or safely to the fairway to the right? See a lot of 3 and 5 woods, a couple of hybrids I'm sure as well, depending on the method of attack. Just about everybody will take that direct path. Smaller fairway to attack, of course. Yeah, one going for the driver. These players certainly have their yardages absolutely dialed in. Very minimal wind as well. Protected in lots of areas this course by the mountains. And that brings everyone in the group down to the fairway. This is where they're headed. Peng Min-ji. Top to bottom break from our vantage point behind the pin. And I know she was ready to walk that in. But too softly struck, she will settle for a par. Got a spike, so some landscape maintenance required. Here's Song Jung-min. Driver into the rough. She's 111 out on the par 4. Downhill and from the rough, so it more or less cancels each other out. Very wide entrance, if you will, to the green. And she is on the right, while the pin is on the opposite side. Amy Jung solves the riddle to even. Her third birdie since hole number 7. Back on the straight and narrow. Wei Dong-eun. High pitched approach with a little backspin and an uphill to prevent her from rolling any further. Sometimes all you want to do is open your ears and enjoy the nature. I'd say close your eyes and listen to the sounds of nature, but with architecture like this, you hardly want to blink. Quite ready for the approaches yet. We are ready for some putts. Song Jung-min is away. She'll go first. All about the setup for par as she's out by 10 meters. She didn't play bashful. She certainly attacked. Sumi from the rough, 83 meters and a 58-degree wedge. Is up and down. Pin is precisely 23 meters off the front. Following that downhill. That's really well worked. OEA 1, also with a 58 degree, only 73 meters out, however. She hits the ball, and oh my word, that's gonna go down as an eagle. She's gonna have to say thanks to No Seung-hee for the assist. One of the strangest holeouts I've seen in a while. And just like that, it's as though the double bogey didn't even happen. How in the world she could play this exact shot 100,000 times and not be able to do that again? Sometimes this beautiful sport of ours all about the most precise angles and geometry, and sometimes it just takes silly luck. That's a case where she wanted to hit the flag to slow her down. She's all the way off to the back. She's maybe not sharing as much as a smile right now as the A1 and Phil Suni. One more time, so here we go. Yep, she lands in a good spot. One bounce. Well, actually, I beg your pardon. That's no Sungi who's gone in the hole. So that's EA1's ball. It ricocheted so quick it changed it. So no Sungi is saying, what in the world? That's my eagle. No Sungi, the defending champion, looks down and says, yeah, that's my ball.
지금 캐디님 뒤쪽으로 한 발 정도. 예, 그 정도.
Long enough that she's going to have to try to more or less find the point. We'll need a rule official here.
어디쯤 있었어요?
더 가까웠어요?
How do you even decide where it was before it went in? So essentially, if that was EA1 who bounced off No Sungi and went in the hole, that's her eagle. But because it was No Sungi who was already stopped, kind of like a putt, you can't wait forever. And by forever, I mean more than a few seconds or a reasonable amount of time to see if it's hovering over the edge, you're going to go, if the wind blows it in. So, while we'll still see that a bunch, and it's still a pretty remarkable thing to have had happen, unfortunately for No Sungi, she doesn't get to benefit with the two-stroke collection. But certainly as it happened in real time, I thought that was EA1 into the hole, so good on the crew for slowing it down and giving us the slow motion explanation or breakdown. Amy Jones probably wondering what all the commotion was about. Another postcard. The start to the whole lush green is the theme. Branding for this tournament, and ENG got the memo going with Thursday green. And Hong Jung-min, that's her par to stay at 2 under. So ride the perimeter of the fairway and actually roll into the rough. It's Hong Ji-won also in the group. Unfortunately for her, she hasn't had nearly the success as her peers, +7. And there's Bung Shin-chil putting up 11.2 meters. Still about 2.5, 3 for the par. Yu-hyun Jo, a co-leader now after 4 consecutive circles on the scorecard. So that's 5 under. She's on the 14th. She is only 90 meters out. The approach shot on the final par 4 of this 5-hole run. She is the furthest from the pin. I'll put it in the unlikely column, but we won't bet against her. Now, EA1. Eagle would have been great to vanish the double just a couple of holes ago, but hey, you'll take your birdies when you can get them. No simple putt by any stretch. Basically tiptoeing down the stairs. The alignment wasn't quite there, and it will have to be just a par. Jung is ready. It will be a pitching wedge. She's 8.6 meters above the pin as she approaches it, 119 meters away. Crashing in a fair. Off towards the fringe. Getting downhill makes it all the more challenging to try to manipulate it with spin. Nozumi also isn't quite aligned, so she needed some help from the gallery. Was it here? Was it here? I suppose we could have half dissolved the replay onto the live to get a decent idea, but that's certainly one we haven't seen in a while. It's the effort from Peng Min-ji, pin eye, but on the other side. Punching shield now to avoid going to +2. A par save. It is saved. Yuki and Joe, never say never, but border on the miraculous. Be able to take the outright lead here. She'll settle for a par. Onosumi, the first ever par from those who were already in the hole, as she had been. Now Pak Ji-young, yes, that'll go. It's 3 birdies in a 4-hole span. Tied for 20th at 1 under. Well, a truly wild hole that we won't forget all week long. A lot of ground to cover up, or to make up, rather. Decent first shot by Peng Min-ji. Blast down the hill into the fairway as Shinju got us underway. Interesting reveal just to show you how much of a downhill change there is. That leaves EA1. Group is away as we officially enter this 3 o'clock hour, hour number 2. All about the finesse, speed, read. Quite put them together to turn it into a birdie. From a tricky spot back into much safer blades on the green.
나이스 파! 강민지! 화이팅!
Was one of the most well-supported players on tour, and for obvious reason. Now, Hong Jung-min, 102 meters, playing her second on 14. Right side and very deep on the green. It's a decent up. Joe, another chance to take the outright lead. She gets lucky as she crests the hill and should absolutely feel like she can go on and take it from that very short distance. three are on to varying distances. Dongin is all smiles. Next approach that gets a little bit of help from a springy second cut of rough. Hopping onto the green, similar to where Hong Jung-min was about 10 minutes ago. How brave do you want to be with those bunkers? Pitching wedge for No Seung-hee. Very brave is the answer. Attacks the left side of the green and is rewarded for it. Only 51 meters for Peng Shun-shul remaining after the tee shot. Soft up and down. Nice and close. All right, she's been patient. I think she's due. So Hyun back under par, tied for 20th, 1 under. Hong Jung-min 4.8. Stayed straight and true the whole way down. Par. Okay. Nearly at the end of this lengthy run of par fours. It's 14 as Imi Jung now operates even par starts. A bit of the hill popping out on the other side to the fairway. This 14th green is where that group will arrive. It's where we find Lee Jung-in. Still bogey free through 14, a fourth birdie. As she has stealthily moved up and is knocking on the door of that top spot as well. Bang Min-ji basically with the full width of the putting surface to cross. Yeah, one, pardon me. Looking ahead by a hole. Here she is, Bang Min-ji. It always looks so close, so dangerous from this side of the fairway. Can't really see where the drop is, but A, you have faith in the pros driving it, and B, you would hear if they were worried just 4.0 on the nose, No Sung-yi. She needed the speed to get it up the hill. One of very rare situations where you actually don't mind to leave that one a little bit short, but it's a harder pill to swallow when you miss short. But the par is easier when you know you just got a little uphill tap. Only 112 to go. Peng Min-ji playing her second. Not excellent and not poor, somewhere in the middle. Absolutely cast this in the excellent column. Downhill putt with some break. But Peng Shin-shil, with nerves of steel, climbs back up to even. Meters up, pitching wedge, and 10 meters. She sits beneath the hole. She was worried about it, and that's why. Scanning the water, you're not seeing the ripples, so she's dry. She might take a provisional just in case. No, Suni stuck in a little bit of a rut right now. Lots of pars, which never a bad thing, but she's watching players surpass her and move towards that 5 under score. She's stuck at 2. Now Pae So-hyun, the final par 3 of the round. Had the speed, didn't quite have the alignment. Satisfying sound. Yoo Hyun-jo, she knew it was going to be a little more than a tap, and she is the outright leader now by 1 stroke as this scintillating back 9 continues. So we know her name is at the very top. Now she won't want to slow down any and start to build a little bit of pad. She is the first to reach 6 under with still a few holes to go. Group 41, that means there's just 5 holes left. Shin-shil begins yet another par 4, slightly right of the fairway. I haven't seen the full leaderboard in a minute. We can go through it verbally. The last refresh, Yoo Hyun-jo from Lee Da-yeon and Yoo Ji-na tied for second. So Ji-eun, Ko Chi-yu, Park So-jin, Lee Dong-eun, those are the players tied for 4th. Much smaller list for T9. Chehae Jung, Hung Yumin, Lee Jae-young. And it gets rather lengthy. T11, those 2 underscores. We have 9 of them and another dozen at 1 under. Sung-yi, of course, there or thereabouts, but now trailing by 4. This now, after the misfortunes on the approach for Amy Jung, is the 4th. Quite a shout for getting the hole, but it's get beside the hole. She'll tap in for bogey. No fault of her own. Dungen now is 2 back. 133 left on the par 4 15th. Coming off her second birdie of the back 9 a few minutes ago. Well, she's safe, but not much more than that. Be Peng Min-ji for a bird. Go. And it goes, but it breaks right. The final couple of revolutions. So it is a par. Her birdies came at 8 and 10, and that's it so far today. Hong Jung-min at 2 under, 112 to go, 18 meters to climb. Very wide and shallow green. She bounces once and ends up in the rough. Drop shot. Absolutely perfect day. Couldn't have ordered better weather. Sunny skies, comfortable temperatures. Not much in the way of wind either. Type of course that every hole presents you with something unique, but I guess if you're looking for similarities, well, every hole will take your breath away. This one's no exception. All right, No Sung-yi first to approach. I'll run it down the right side and making a bit of a beeline for the fringe, but that'll work out just fine.
나 괜찮지? 막 세게 칠 수도 없어. 그냥 노멀하게 쳐도 돼. 해도 해줘.
See what EA1 has in store next. To take issue with on another good approach. That seems to be the path. Punching shield 54-degree wedge, the last to go on 14. I don't think anyone's screaming out their confidence, but they're saying, hey, I'm in with a shot here.
주황색 일자 나무 옷을 좀 있는 거 같아.
Well, with that, while we wait for them to arrive at the green, let's step aside. 5:26 p.m. local time here in Chungcheongbuk-do. This is the 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Be back in a moment. Nothing quite compares to a major championship. Thanks for joining us for the opening round of the 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship presented by DB Group. This is our 41st and final. EA1 had a chance for a birdie. It was a tricky putt, of course. She'll settle for the par. Hong Jung-min, already a major champion this season. She won the 47th KLPGA Championship, the Chris FNC 47 KLPGA Championship. Shot 10 under to win it all. Quite the payday, 234 million won, 300 million this week. The winner's share, of course. Now Pengxin Shield also topsy-turvy. Shot for birdie. Took her a little while to get going. Hey, Dong-un, this is at 15. A lot of ground to cover. She's still left with about a meter and a half. And no Sung-yi. Within 3. Downhill speed won't be an issue. Oh, catches the inside, but not enough of it. Meaning that was to save the par. Left herself with a lot of work to do. Not a lot of real estate on the backside of the par 4 16th. There's Pengxin Shield. Winner this season already as well. Mid-April, she took the 3-round Nexen St. Nine Masters. 3rd in her career. Dong-un stays 2 back with a good par. She is also in that club of 2025 victors. She came awfully close. It was tied for 3rd, shooting a 65 in the final round of that aforementioned Nexen St. Nine Masters. Okay, so Hyun putting from the fringe. Just about had it there. 4 birdies, was hoping for 5. She'll settle for the par. Her bogeys were 1, 7, and 12. It's a round of 71. Three-time winner in 2024. It's yet to come off for her in 2025. It always feels like this is one of those unofficial season markers, midway mark. Pengxin Shield still with the honor at 15. Over hits the fairway, skips and rolls into the rough. unfortunate bounce out of the tall grass into the first cut.
중간만 그냥 찾아주시고.
약간 끝에서.
거의 없는 것 같아. 약간 끝에서도 없는 것 같아.
네.
그래도 약간은 왼쪽 보여.
G out of the rough to about 5 meters away. Peng Ji grabs the outside edge and loops around but does not fall. Commiseratory light applause. Jung, no such troubles finding the bottom of the cup. Birdie to return her to where she was at the 14th tee. Bogey birdie, it's a nice comeback. Here's the approach. We'll stay on and get a nice roll back towards the central plane. That will work out just fine. Yoo-Hyun Jo, the co-leader, her third shot, trying to set up a birdie to take her to 7 under. Yeah, I'd say that'll work out just fine. Thank you very much. Slight left to right breaking putts. She looks to extend her advantage. Now EA1, a 6-iron. Low lofted shot, plenty of speed. Fringe actually does her a big favor slowing it down. That's quite the effort. Oh no, didn't see that coming. Perhaps we should have. Pengxin Chil, it's an 8-iron. Significantly less club. Get that same roll down the fringe and back towards the front. Greens are unbelievably quick. There's Pak Jiang on 16 as well. Yeah, that's a lovely touch. Had a chance for eagle. Tap that in for the easiest birdie she'll make today. And Joe makes it back-to-back. Look at that back nine. 7 holes, 6 birdies, nice and casual. Up to 7 under par. And next is Hong Jung-min. Edge of the fairway. Right to left cut for the second shot. Perfectly placed. Dung in second, the taller grass. Quite the distance to Sung Jung-min, but safely in the fairway. Yeah, one, it's not been the best back nine, of course. Look much further beyond that +3 mark.
왼쪽으로 하나.
Oh Soo-min in some serious trouble in the amateur with a splash. Fountains, nice to look at, not nice to aim at. Pengxin Chil first to putt at 15. Most of the rest of the way there. teeing off towards the abyss. That's how it looks from our perspective. The abyss was very well manicured fairway, and I suppose that's true. All right, No Sungi, one of the biggest putts for her today. Not quite enough speed. Settle for the par. ENG is next. This is going to work out just fine for her. And EA won another missed par. Just can't seem to catch a break today. +4 now, tied for 84th. Has not birdied. It's hole number 4. Lee Dungin has not had those issues. She's at 4 under. Cutting across onto the green. Hyun Jo, 2 holes to go to pad the advantage.
조금 뒤로 나왔어.
Second to last hole, the par 3. Just before then, Jungmin and company.
권민실 화이팅!
Jill, the nice putt. Here's how things stand as we near the 6 p.m. hour. Yoo Hyun Jo, the advantage is 1. Eugenia still out there as well and keeping pace, hot on her heels at 6 under. Park So-jin with a very admirable 69 in the opening round to be tied with Hung Yoo-min inside of the top 10. And the only other player on page 1 of the leaderboard still working her way around the course is Lee Dungin in this home stretch of the opening round. Time for another break. Back on the other side at the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. And welcome back to the Rainbow Hills Country Club. The national team player, Osumin. A little bit of trouble with that approach at the last. See how she fares in a moment. First, let's go back to the par 3. Young, up and down from the rough. Shot of O is never a great sign. Dungin comes close, but needs one more swing of the putter. Require at least one more putt. Our interest is Osumin at the moment. I stand corrected in correctingly identifying this as the 18th. Of course, this is par 5 16th. She's at +5. Just about saves it. Young now to save a par and stay under. A lot of speed. If she was offline, she was in trouble, but absolutely drills it. Pengmin-ji, her second shot at the par 5. Heads to the end of the fairway. It's a bit of a shocker. Easy roll the rest of the way. Head scratcher how she missed the last. Well, a big shot on the par 5, clears the water, but is suctioned into the sand trap. there, perched up on the hill. On the home stretch, one of each, 5, 3, and 4 the pars. Slowly working their way to this position, the edge of the fairway. Pangmin-ji, 87 meters this approach. Work out just fine.
Good. Set. Nice. 괜찮아.
Nice indeed. And high and a little more than a 4-meter putt for Lee Dong-eun's birdie. Only her torso visible as we watch from this side of the green. Very good contact, struck it well. Off the right side fringe and hops into another birdieable position. Shot by Hong Jung-min. It's quick. Slightly misaligned to the right. Missed by Imi Jung in a tap-in. Chance for the birdie, but she'll have to wait at least one more hole.
서울 방향으로.
Hong Jung-min tiptoes it. Wide left. Well, no audio to hear the applause, but no doubt there was some. Pangmin-ji holes out. A little more than a tap in for Lee Tongan. Great tee shot. Simple, but it's a birdie. She's had a frustrating day, but take your birdies and celebrate them wherever you can get them. Yu-Hyun Jo, the setup shot for one last birdie. It's 160 meters from the fairway. More club. Might not have helped her out all that much more. Gonna have to work for that 8 under when she gets the flat stick in hand. Down, but it is a good first on at 16. No Soon-Yi will try to replicate that. Cleared the fairway. Not the most treacherous length. She's going to need a little extra oomph to get it out. Now this is well left, and I'm not sure it's coming back. It's no good. Always tough to shape it with that club in that condition. But sand trap is a very undesirable outcome. Decent start. And Chin wants a little more here on her approach. We're seeing why this has been such a difficult hole to score. Did see the one eagle from Sojin. Was a tricky nut to crack. Ryujinan Idaeon, second and third right now on the ladder. Birdies. Amy Jung would like to follow in those footsteps. 7 iron for her. Even par right now, tied for 33rd. Unfortunately, she misses the green and is up in the rough. Next tee shot at 17 is also a short one. Park Ji-young now. Tracking well. Brilliant putt. .32 on the way in after a really rocky opening 9 with a 38. He finishes 2 under. Well, despite being in a very undesirable location, it's a good start for No Sung-hee. Needed to play that with pace to get it through the tall grass, defending the front side of the green. Amy Jung gets it to within a meter or so. Pung-Shin Shield for a birdie. Gonna have to reach deep into her bag of tricks to accomplish that feat. EA1's attempt. Needed a lot of speed to get up the hill. Pang Min-ji also misaligned. Using the flag as a backboard. No Sung-hee, our defending champ, able to get up and down. Save that par. Yu Hyun Jo, similar to Park Ji-young in that it was a bounce back 9. On the way in after a 35 on the way out. 35 on the way in. Good par for Amy Jung. One more to go. That's a head scratcher, to put it mildly. Punching Shields even further than she was when she addressed the last putt. Oh, big exhale. Frustrating to walk off after that. Not a bizarre putt, but has time to shake it off.
나이스 버디! 이원 화이팅!
Much different feel for EA1, who is all smiles as she makes her way to 17th tee. No swingy already there, patiently waiting.
중계?
타워. 타이밍 맞춰서 편하게 플레이하겠습니다.
Starting us off, not the result she was looking for. She's off the green.
오르막 몇이에요?
오늘 3. 그냥 7. 4, 34.
All right, for EA1, the floor is hers. Well, it was a very unwelcoming green, wasn't it? 0 for 2 now with only Punching Shield remaining. All right, had to be one, and it's a good one. Just above pin high, Punching Shield will be putting for a birdie. Lee Dong-un at the last lifts it up and rolls it well over half the distance remaining. Good drive that skirts the right edge. Levels out with a good look down towards the green. Now Sumin to avoid dropping to +7. That's a bit of a heartbreaker. She gave it a good go. It's outside the top 100. Only one birdie, a double bogey, and a handful of squares. Chance to be better tomorrow. That's the beauty of these competitions. You're guaranteed at least 2 rounds. Amy Jung with her tee shot on 18. Yeah, one first out of the rough. Nice and close. That'll definitely be a par. Hong Jung-mi nearly gets to 2 under. She was hoping it would be final stroke of the day, but she needs one more. 71. Quiet back 9 based on the standards set by some of the performances we have seen. No Soon-yi, she's not going to love that. Still has plenty to do. Here's Lee Dong-un, left to right, swooping putt. Started it way too far inside. So it's a bogey, the only one today. Drops her to 4 under. That's a tie for 4th after 18. Punishing shield, it's a great birdie. Back to even. 3rd birdie of the back 9. Amy Jung, the approach at the last. It's a pretty good track. Good shot. All right, no swinging to avoid dropping again. Tough one, lots of ground to cover. Good save. Peng Min Ji's approach 136. Didn't quite have that calibrated properly. So down they go. Three groups remaining on the back nine on this 18th hole. Our final group just arriving now.
정도가 맥주. The first tee shots. Execution by Peng Xin Shiel. Two for two with another well-delivered drive to the middle of the fairway.
실례하겠습니다. 잠시 멈춰 주세요. 잠시 멈춰 주세요.
Three for three, we're away this par 4 to wrap up the first day. Bungmin G finishes up with a par, 3 birdies, 2 bogeys, and a 71 after 18 holes. No such luck for Amy Jung as Pengmin Ji. She'll need at least one more. Pin drop, as this is obviously not how Amy Jung had envisioned this going. Disappointing end. She ends with a whimper. 3 birdies, 2 bogeys, and a double bogey. Bit of a tough day at the office for the former champion. Peng Shield, now that the green's cleared, 155. Didn't quite get it to dig in, but steps of the back fringe. And Oh Seung-hee to follow. Also deep, but she's also more to the center than the right corner. And that leaves EA1. Sun gets lower in the sky, the more than the sounds of ball strikes, birds, and patron encouragement. Perfect end to a fantastic first day at the major. Well, while we have a moment or two, we go back to visit one of the most bizarre things we've seen in a long time. Certainly this year for me. This takes the cake. EA1 off of Nosungi's ball. In the moment, we thought that was a bit of bumper cars and that was an eagle for EA1. It was immediately after a double bogey. In the end, as we slowed it down and checked the cup itself, whose ball is it? Well, the answer was Nosungi's, which means it basically had to act like it never happened. EA1 is the furthest away. Has the honor for a round of 74. Well, it looks like it had a chance till the very end. No, Sungi, beg your pardon. Had our font wrong. Here we go. Tap in to end it. Last year's champion has a solid day with 4 birdies and an early bogey. Very, very close, in fact, to replicating what she was able to do in each of the first 3 rounds from 1 year ago. Pengxin Shiel, this for a 71. Yes. Birdie at the last, tied for 19th. 4 of them on the back 9. 3 bogeys today as well. It's a 71. All right, EA1. Left to right breaking putt. She's going to get that birdie. Well, +2 with a 74. Would have been an even par round if not for that 1 hole with a double. But always oversimplifying to just change 1 hole and get a different outcome. So that brings us to an end. Now we're not going to let you go that easy, or that quickly rather. We do have a little recent history to revisit. We'll recap the leaderboards and call it a day, and what a day it had been.
어디서 숨어 있다가 탁 나오시네요. 기다려.
Just putting the final touches, the final clips, adding them to the pack. Well, it started early, and we also enjoy these end of round updates as an opportunity to see what we missed before we came on the air, because, well, we've only been on for the past 3 hours or so. Of course, this has been an all-day affair. 132 players, you got to get them in. And anytime we see a par 3, it gets you excited, and for good reason. Who's going to be the one to do it? Get the ace. We had a great audition there. And we would just have to settle for a birdie. Never a bad thing. All the way back to the first. Begin with the par 5, 531 meters. I love this. Start with the longest hole. Not necessarily the most challenging hole, but the longest. It's a pretty good way to warm up. That close to an eagle as it just slipped offline at the very end. But for Hung Min, it would set her up quite well, you'd have to think.
Okay.
Taking this from Lee Dae-yeon. Absolutely fantastic today. Worthy of her place near the top. So Ji-yeon bogeyed 3 times on the front nine. Much different story on the back when she shot a 30, including an eagle at 16. She finished tied for 4th by day's end. To 5 under for Lee Dae-yeon with just the 1 bogey on the round and 6 birdies. Lee Dong-eun with a wonderful, absolutely wonderful putt from the fringe to start off her round. In the tick column, she'd have another at 2, and then things would cool off slightly. Surprising herself even, with a nice up and down 2. Put a stamp on a good first round. That was Kim Shi-hyun. Next up, we saw a lot of these long runners. Down the green that would end up with 2, 3, 4 foot putts. Back to back to back to back. It was really strong running for Joe. Meanwhile, after that aforementioned break between birdies, she went almost 9 holes in a row. She would really pick it up towards the end, just as Yu and Joe would continue to rack them up on the way, and she would also shoot a 30, just as So Ji-yeon had done. Yu and Joe after that par at 14, 15, and 16, and that is where she would stop for the day. That's 7 under. This Lee Dong-eun. And it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for her on the back nine. That would be her final birdie after a wonderful tee shot to start the hole. She would bogey the last for 34 on the way in. And sole possession of 3rd place. 132 players in the field this week, as mentioned. They're competing for their split of a 1.2 billion purse. Pak So-jin, the amateur, -3 is 69 in the opening round. That is tied for 7th with Chae Jung, Lee Jae-young, No Seung-hee, and Hung Min. That's pretty good company to keep. Obviously, we have plenty of former winners in the field, including Pugmin Ji, who was only able to muster a 71. Kilye Ram and Sunga Jin, both amateurs, both with 71s to start the tournament. 33 players finished the opening day under par with another, more than a handful. How about 8 players at even? Or 2 tie golfers joining us this week, both just missing out on an even par score at +1. Well, I wish I could tell you you could just keep this feet up and watch the sunset all night long. I certainly wish I could do the same, but a perfect way to end a nearly perfect first day. And the best news, we've got 3 more. Tomorrow we're right back at it. Same time, same place, the Rainbow Hills Country Club, when we present round 2 of the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. But for today, it's so long for now. Thanks for joining us.